Hi everybody, this is Jazz, aka Trend Trader for you. Every week I put out a free weekly analysis on SPY so that other traders can see what I see. And if you can look at my analysis and say, you know what, this makes sense or this correlates with what I'm thinking, more power to you. Am I always right? No. Am I always wrong? I don't know. But what I put out is great analysis so that you guys can confirm with yours and see if that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, that's totally fine. But as a courtesy, I've been doing it for many months and I will keep on continuing to do that. So in this analysis, I'll actually go in a little bit more detail because it's been a while since I actually did a kind of like a basic analysis, okay, for the novices, for the beginners, so that you see how important it is to look at a chart rather than just believing, on stories or news like, war or, threat or, bankruptcy or whatever, right? Everything is factored into each single candlestick that you see in here, right? I have no idea what exactly happened in here, right? No clue, but based on looking at the chart, the price from here, 184, went down to 178. Was Greek getting defaulted here? No clue. Was one of the country was getting bombed here? I have no clue and I really don't care as far as comes to the technical analysis, right? What we look at a chart is 100% accurate. There is no flaw in it. Understand that, okay? 100% accuracy in the chart is right here. There is no flaw in it, okay? What you see is what you get. What you see is what you are going to predict based on the past historical price movement. Make sense, right? What's going to happen in future, we have no clue. We have no clue if the price is going to, open at 215 or open at 200. But we make our best judgment by basically looking at where the price had visited in past day, past 1 minute, past week, past year, or whatever it is, right? But we do our best based on looking at the chart and we project the future. That's what technical analysis is. There's nothing more than that. You can add in thousands of indicators, you can add in thousands of lines, you can add in anything you want that can help you, to determine or to be basically to become a better trader, right? I like a naked chart. I like a very simple chart. On the right side is what you're looking at, weekly chart. On the left side, what you're looking at is a daily chart. Okay, weekly chart. So I'm going to go in a little bit of detail, okay, just because I haven't done this for a while. Okay, I want the novices and the beginners to understand what a chart is. Okay, what am I looking at? So each candlestick, for instance, if you're looking at this candlestick, okay, these are called candlesticks. They're different types of chart. There's a line chart, there's a bar chart, there's a candlestick chart, there's a point and figure chart, which I honestly have no clue about that, right? But I'm really good at candlesticks and that's where I stick at. Okay, so in this candlestick this week, okay, this week, 1 week of price action, price went as low as, if you look at this little bar, okay, price went as low as 181.92, price went as high as 191.15, price opened at 190.46, price closed at 188.47. So as you can tell that in this candle, that's where the price action happened. That's where price traveled. Same thing in next candle. This candle opened around here and closed all the way at the top. Red candle meaning price opened at the top, closed all the way at the bottom on this red candle. Green candle is opposite. So you could say that red candle is bearish, right? Meaning the bears are in control. People who have the sentiment of keep on selling the stock, right? They have the sentiment that, you know what, I want to sell, and sell, or they could be shorting, right? Remember, every buyer has a seller. You can't say that everybody's selling, okay? The sentiment is that everybody wants to sell, but every buyer has a seller. If I want to put my house on the market, I have to have a buyer. If there are 10 houses on the market and there are 20 sellers, right? Whoever comes in, they will keep pushing the prices down and down and down. Same scenario. If I have, 20 houses that I want to sell, I have 40 buyers. It's gonna keep the sentiment to the bullish side because there's a lot of demand, right? So they're gonna keep the pushing, they're gonna keep pushing the prices up. So it makes it a green candle, makes it a bullish candle, right? Because they're driving the prices up. Simple as that. That's all the candlestick is. But we're looking at a weekly candle, okay? In here, we're looking at a daily candle, meaning each candle represents 1 day of price action. So let's go back into the weekly. What you see is a beautiful uptrend, right? All the way from, it actually can go way far back, and it's beautiful, nice uptrend, right? From 2000, let's just talk about 2012 all the way up. What you see in here is you draw is just a simple line, okay? Draw a simple line, cut through many candles as you can as possible, and it gives you a nice uptrend. Once it breaks this candle, it happened a little bit here, gave a little false move, but it went back up again. So once you have a clear uptrend, meaning you have a line that is going to the upside, and all of a sudden, or it might take some time, you have a direction change. This is what you can call a change of polarity, change of trend, a change of direction. And this was so easy back in 2008 that people who went long, all they had to see, let me actually go back, okay? So let's go back into 10 years. Let's go weekly. Let's go in here. 2000, it happened around here, right? Oops. You have a clear uptrend, right? Makes sense, right? So that's exactly what's going on right now. Clear uptrend. All you have to do, all you novices or people who are not even looking at the charts, you have to look at the charts to see how the market is doing. The charts will tell you 100% accurate data. So you have a clear uptrend, okay? And as soon as this uptrend is broken, you know that you need to take some action. If you don't take an action here, you know that the line is not in an uptrend any longer. It's going to the downside. In fact, there was a lot of indication around this area where you could have pulled out. Okay, if you didn't pull out, there was an indication in here to pull out. If you still didn't pull out, that was where you got suckered in. And from here on, sorry, but that's where here on people like me who started trading came right around here. This is where we bought Bank of America. This is where we bought Citi. This is where a lot of stuff was cheap. And from here on, we had a beautiful, beautiful, big uptrend. Makes sense? And this is what we're seeing right now. A beautiful uptrend. Has the line broken? No. Let people talk what they want to talk. Okay? Let people come up with their own analysis. Let people come up with their own, a statistical or whatever it is. I simply look at the chart, base my analysis on that. I'm pretty, I don't have a whole lot of knowledge, honestly, about all the fundamentals and how the whole thing works. I just go back to the chart. It's 100% accurate data, and I just go back to it. It gives me answers. The answer right now that I've been screaming to the members in the elite group, the members to even the free group, or even all the YouTube videos I put out. I've been talking about this for the longest time, guys. Probably from around here, that the trend is up. I'm gonna keep on trading the trend. Okay. However, we do look for weakness. We do look for weakness. If we don't see a weakness, we keep on trading. If we do see a weakness, it's just a weakness. We still have to wait for a lot of confirmation. So as of right now, what we see, so hopefully the novices or the beginners or even the intermediate, hopefully you're understanding what I'm trying to say is the trend is up weekly. Remember, weekly, I'm looking not at a daily chart. I'm looking at a weekly chart. I'm not looking at a 5-minute chart. I'm looking at a weekly chart. It's very important you understand that when you're trading the bigger time frame, when you're trading the weekly chart, you stay in that. You don't just go back and forth 60 minutes and say, you know what, I'm going to trade 60 minutes. Stay in the weekly chart and let it tell you what it wants to tell you, right? So in the weekly chart is, I'm going to draw this little trend line, okay? Going to just connect some lower highs, okay? Connect this, okay? Connect these higher lows. So definition of an uptrend is what? Okay, higher high, higher low. Let me just make it really easy one. Higher high, higher low, higher high, and a higher low, right? What I just said is a clear definition of an uptrend, meaning this high is above this high, right? This low is above this low. This high is above, let's just say, this high, right? This low is above this low. This high is above this high. And this low is above this low. So that is a clear definition of an uptrend, right? I'm giving you guys pearls, okay? You probably will be paying, hundreds of thousands of dollars just to learn this kind of analysis. You don't get this. You don't get this from YouTube. You get it from somebody who knows how to look at a chart, somebody who can trade right off the naked chart. And if you do, find this, I'm glad somebody's giving out free information. But this is what you will get mostly, paid kind of education, okay? But we talk about this all the time, guys. This is just I'm giving you guys little nuggets, but we drill it down. We drill it down to even the extent of 3 minute, 1 minute. We go down, we go really, really critical on where the support is, where the resistance is, where the trend is, where the candlestick is. In fact, this is a hammer candle. This is a hammer candle, right? And this is a bullish candle, right? Not a exactly a piercing candle, but it's a bullish candle, right? This is a maybe somewhat of a what you call your bullish engulfing, not the technically, but somewhat looks like that, right? This candle right here, this is a bullish engulfing candle, okay? So we go into detail in the when the I do the morning SPY analysis in the group. So let me raise this out, okay? So what we have is somewhat of a, you can say, in an uptrend, a symmetrical triangle forming. This is a chart pattern. We talk about chart pattern. There's probably 20-30 of them, right? Even more. Somebody have a chart pattern named megaphone or something. I mean, believe me, yeah, there's somebody named a chart pattern megaphone, right? I don't know. All I just look at is clear chart. That gives me a clear picture of it. So this is what we're looking at. So that's the weekly chart, uptrend, minor weakness in here. Okay. Only reason I say that, see how these are making higher highs. This is a choppy market right here. This is not a market for a swing trader. Maybe a market for a day trader, but definitely not a market for a swing trader, because you're getting chopped out every day. Actually every week, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7, well, 7 weeks just sideways action, nothing really happening. But you can go down into daily time frame, you can trade that. You can go down into 5 minute time frame, you can definitely trade that. What you're looking at is just somewhat of a consolidation area. Is he gonna break to the upside? I have no clue. Is he going to break let me see, get the arrow out. Is he going to the break upside? I have no clue. Is he going to the break to the downside? I don't know. I'm going to see or act once the price breaks to the upside or the downside. This is the critical area right here that it needs to hold. If it holds that, we're still in uptrend. If it doesn't hold that, we might change direction to the downside. We could definitely come test this. After we test this and break it, you can come down and test this area. So let's see how that goes, right? Nothing, I don't want to speculate on things that I don't know, but I'm going to definitely act on what I see during the daily picture, right? I'll go over these two lines, how these came into play, okay? Sorry guys, I was getting yelled at my wife, but can't leave my second love, right? So anyways, so let's talk about trading a little bit. Sorry for the little interruption. So what we're talking about is a weekly, right? Weekly time frame being up, nothing has changed, right? Just a little consolidation area. So let's go back into the daily time frame and analyze that. So let's go back in here, daily chart. So I'm looking at the SPY in a daily chart. Whole different picture, right? Whole different picture. You have, you know, huge swings in here where price came in and held this area, went up, and price came down here, held this area, went up, price came in this area, held up, went up, right? So in this week, first of all, what I have drawn in here is 200 SMA, 20 SMA, and 50 SMA. Okay, these are just simple moving averages, and all they're telling me is indicating, right? All they're doing is indicating. I won't go into too much of a detail for them, but 200 is the one you want to be careful about. And see how the price came in here, almost tested, went up, price did a fake out in here and went up again from around here. So 200 is one of the ones that you want to keep an eye on. Okay, and big institutions use it for to get in or get out or stay long in the market or stay short in the market. Okay, you can apply that in any stock, but you got to apply that in a daily chart. So in recent price action, what we see is, again, these lines are from weekly chart. I won't remove them, but this was little breakout in here, right? The breakout of this symmetrical triangle didn't have a follow through, out of here. What happened was it came back to this base area. This is the line that I alerted the members, okay, before the price even came in here today. I had a short day in the chat room today, you know, I had to take care of some house stuff and whatever, but I alerted them, okay, watch for a bounce around in this area. And sure enough, later on, when I came back home, I saw, you know, the bounce actually did happen. Obviously I didn't trade or anything, but if you go into a smaller time frame, you'll see. And in fact, I posted an image in the elite group where the bounce happened, where what kind of a reversal was given, and how could it would have gone long. And I'll talk about that on Monday. And just I go into really detail. You know, I'm not one of those chat rooms where we're saying pivot this, pivot that. I like to be specific. I like to say, okay, this is the range and this is how we're going to act if the price comes in this area. And if I'm in the chat room, I'll call a trade out. And I've called a lot of SPY trades out. Some work, some don't work, which is fine, right? We're trying to, predict the price based on the past price movement. And if it works, it's good. If it doesn't work, it's okay. We know our risk is defined. So anyway, so what we're seeing out right here is somewhat of a professional gap to the downside. Did give a little bit of reversal, and important thing is that this right here, okay, this high wasn't violated, meaning the new high wasn't made, which is very critical. Okay, you have in a daily chart a lower high, okay. This lower high is lower than this, then you have another lower high which is lower than this. This is a little bit critical side, okay. In a daily chart, I wanted to see price to actually go above to continue this trend. Instead, today it gapped down into this support area where price did go up of, but we have to keep in account in that we did not go above this yellow line. We actually gapped down. So the next area could, again, this is a support which was tested for many times. Again, this is a support in here too. This is a weekly support, right? So this area could come back and retest it again, and also we could have a retest of this trend line again. Again, this is a choppy action. This is not a swing kind of trader environment. Even though, based on weekly chart, you can't really trade that. In a daily chart, you do have some, you have a hammer in here, right? You have a little hammer in here where you can take the trade, and that actually worked out fine. We actually, this is where we talked about, price going up from here, from this area, and it did. It tested this, and this move obviously wasn't expected, news and all that did factor in this part, but it came down to bounce out of this support area. Let me just erase all that. So let's see what happens on Monday. Could retest the bottom of it, and I'll tell you day trading it in fact in a few minutes, and possibly could come to test this trend line. Okay, so let's see if that happens. Then again, it could retest, come back, retest, right? Retest this, then go back again, retest this, maybe, you know, possibly make another high, could retest this trend line and do another move up. Okay, just again speculation, which I don't believe. It's just everybody have their own thing going on. Okay, I do this, I predict this, predict this. I'm just gonna act on what I see right now. What I see right now is I'll go down into the smaller time frame. Let's see, let's go down into 30-minute, right? Actually, let's go down to 15-minute. That's where I saw the setup. So in 15-minute is what happened today. Well, first of all, the price gap down, kept continuing, gave a little reversal here. I'm not gonna go in detail. That is for the obviously for the members. And believe me, this email, this video, I am giving a lot of nuggets, a lot of good information that you can grow on your technical analysis skills. So price gap down, and based on here, did another move to the downside. Trade the direction. That's what I tell my customers, to just keep trading the direction. That is the best way to trade. If you try against a trade, you might want to look for some kind of a reversal, some solid reversal. First one could be a stop out, but if you try it one more time, if you have a good enough setup, it could work out really good. Okay, so in here, I'm gonna give you a trade in here. If the price comes back in this area, okay, if the price comes back this area, look for, okay, if price comes back this area, look for a long to the upside. Okay, that's one trade to the long side. If it breaks this right here, obviously if it breaks this, you're gonna put a new low. You want to stay away from the longs. I'm not gonna say you can short based on, if you see a reversal in the smaller time frame, even going down in the 3-minute, you can short. But if you see a reversal in here, look for a long. Okay, another way you want to look for a long is if you see the price closing above this line. Okay, if the price comes back, close above this, and you might have a possible trade around this area. And if that does, your first test will be this, the high of which was today, right? That will be your first test. The plane, yes. And the second test will be, oops, this line. The second test will be around this area. Okay, and the third test will obviously be the gap fill, and then you're gonna have fourth test, four, and on and on and on. Okay, this is based on past historical movement. This is what I see current. Okay, this is what I see as happening. If this breaks, if this reversal, I'm shooting for this. Okay, if this reversal in here, I'm shooting for this. You see how I am just taking, oops, you see how I am just taking basically step by step, rather than just saying, you know what, I'm projecting, I'm in the smallest time frame right now, 15-minute, one of the smaller time frames. So I'm based on that, I'm speculating. This is technically speculating based on the past historical data, that once it breaks this, long here, once it breaks this, possible test here, then long, and then once you're long, test here, and then test this high, then maybe we'll see from there, right? But if you see a trade in here, the price moves up in this area from 207.50 to 205.93, that's a beautiful day trade, or 208.25. If you see a price coming at 208.25, break above this and test this area from 208, what is this, it is Windows. So once this test 208.25, right around this area, if you see test in here, a break above and test that, that's a great day trade, right? So we take step by step. We don't just say, okay, I'm going to go along here, and I'm going to say that this is my target. You can say that's your target, but you have to cross other resistance areas or other support areas if you were shorting. in order for you to get to your ultimate level. That's what I do in the chat room. I try to provide a trade, then I say, okay, target is this. If that breaks, this is your next target. If that breaks, that's your next target. But most importantly, you are going to protect yourself, and that's exactly how I teach. How are we going to protect ourselves in the chat room, actually? So that's that. That's your SPY analysis, guys. I think I went in pretty elaborative detail in there. Okay, and to be honest, I think I probably did a paid analysis version, but I will put this out, as so that everybody can look at it. If that makes sense to you, perfect, and if you need to, continue on your learning, just let me know. Hit me up, info@trendtraderforyou.com, and this is posted on everywhere, basically. My Facebook group, uh, the stock twits, or whatever you name it. So just, if you think that it's valid enough, come try me out. Come try out the chat room. Come try out there's abundance amount of information on the Facebook group, and you can't go wrong. You can't go wrong with the price, because what you're paying outside, I guarantee you that what you're getting in here, you're not gonna get that kind of material for this kind of price. And if you do, I will beat that price. Honestly, I will beat that price. And the content in here, the trades that we do, the explanation that we do, it's strictly off a price action. Okay, so that's it, guys, and I'll talk to you guys later, and have a great weekend. Take care. Bye.